Hey everybody, it's me, Pam, Dragon Moon Creations. Welcome back to my channel. I don't get a lot of views, but I do appreciate the people that do show up for me. Let me turn that light on because I'm going to be showing something. Okay, who else? Here comes Trippy. Day High Trip. Who else fell into the trap whenever Tim Holtz was having his Halloween make, showing what you can make from his Halloween stuff? And he was stressing about stuff you already had and stuff that'll be coming back next year. And did anybody hear him say that the palette paper would not be returning? I'm trying to keep my camera steady because Trip bouncing it with his butt. Yeah, I could have sworn he said the palette paper wouldn't be returning. And I had not been too interested in the palette paper because I thought it was rather expensive for just 12 sheets. But then he showed the Halloween again, and I said, okay, I guess I have to okay, you got to get down. You're been too rambunctious. And I went to Simon Says Stamp because they seem to have the best price. And he was showing another sticker pack. And the sticker pack he was showing was this one right here. And of course I had to get it. Of course I did. Like I don't have enough. And because of these stickers. And I didn't have this one with those the black and the orange pseudo label maker ones. I have it on the roll that actually looks like label maker. But then the rest I didn't have because this doesn't have this one. I have cat hair all over my phone. Who knew, right? And this one right here with these little strips on it. And he has another one similar. I have one similar to that, but I really like the masks and the hats and the skulls. But then there's 3, 4, 5 pages of this, and I have a hard time using this. You're supposed to be able to put it all together and tell a story. I can sometimes if I have the patience for it. Anyway, I thought I got 2 of these. And because what year is this? This is 2025. I thought I had gotten 2 of these, but apparently I didn't. And I got another one of these, which I already have, this one. And I have the one with this girl in. I swear to goodness, this girl looks like an actress I've seen in something. I mean, look at her. She looks really familiar. I mean, these can't be real, right? They probably are actors. I mean, for instance, this woman has waxed eyebrows. Nobody back then had eyebrows that looked that great. So these are definitely actors that have posed for these pictures. And there's some more of those, which I do like those. And then more of this stuff. But I thought I got 2 of these, and I got another one of these, which, okay. And then I did go ahead and get the 12 of 12 and the 8x8. Sorry about that glare. I really like smaller prints. What the good thing about this really is that it doesn't have a gummed thing here where you tear the pages out. They're just loose. But 12, I think each one of them was like $1 off. So this was like $7.99, $8.99, and this one was $1 off of whatever regular price is. Anyway, I did have to pay shipping, which shipping from Simon Says Stamp was not that bad, actually. I think it was only $7.99. But it still adds up. But anyway, I didn't like this one. It's got pages of the strips, and I have these already in a package of them. What am I thinking of? I can't think of it. I can never think of things anymore. Anyway, but I went ahead and got the paper. But I could have sworn that he said on that special, which was 2 hours, and I had to break it up in like three times watching it. I thought he said that the palette papers were not coming back. And maybe he meant the Halloween wasn't coming back till next Halloween. But I thought, all those palette papers, the different colors that he put out, I thought he said they weren't coming back. But on that particular video, I thought before when they introduced him, he said, these are here to stay. I could have sworn that. And now he says they're not coming back. So somebody out there, if you heard differently, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so I got that. I shouldn't have, but I did. I have more Christmas than I do Halloween. I think I told you that before. It's like, what is up with that? Okay. All right. I forgot to get this. I'm gonna get it. Okay. Anybody know what these are? We all know what these are. These are the binding wires for the Cinch binding system. Okay, so, several years ago, during COVID, maybe even before that, my friend Libby, she was getting out of the paper crafting thing. She was going to go back to sewing, and I bought a bunch of her stuff. I said, name your price. You know, if I wanted to haggle, I would, but she named her price. I said that was fine. And in it was a Cinch binding machine. And I thought, I'm never going to use this. That heavy, bulky thing. It's about as heavy and bulky as, you know, the Sizzix die machine. And then I saw all these people making all these little booklets with the Cinch machine. They said, oh, you can, you know, use your scraps and you can use anything. Well, they were using index cards. And I said, I love index cards. I keep them at my chair. So if I need to write something down, I can write it down on an index card because it's thicker than paper. And, you know, and they're cheap. They're dirt cheap. You can get them anywhere. So they were using the index cards that size and then cutting them down to like making 3x4 booklets. I said, okay, you can see I've used some of this wire. I watched 3 videos, looked at the book, messed with the machine. This is not all of the paper that I was using to try to, you know, measure. This is like a 4. You only have to really measure on one side. That's like 4. And I don't know what this one is. This one's 6 1/4 because I was trying to measure for 6 1/4 if I wanted to make the covers 6 1/4 and still be able to use the pages. And you can, you know, just put the pages in there and it'll do this. You just have to pull it anyway. Well, you don't know. You can mess with your own binding machine. You just have to set the measurement a little different for the cover and then snap it right back in place for the pages. Anyway, I was messing with, and I messed with. And that's not, like I said, I used a bunch of cardstock and regular paper to get a feel for it. And then I did it. I got out. I thought, well, let me make sure I wasn't going to start out practicing with Tim Holtz paper there. So I made the covers from this, and there was a couple of pages I needed to add extra for that. And I messed with it. Okay. This is single-sided, and I did glue them together to make double-sided paper. But I used these old Love Nicole AC Moore pads. They do not have dates on them, so I could not tell you how old they are. But Michael's bought out AC Moore years ago, right? My camera is crooked, as always, or maybe it's just my eyeballs. Okay, let me see. Which was the first one I made? They both had the same covers, okay? Yeah. It's a 3x4. And I kind of cut the papers down. I didn't cut them down enough. The index card things, I didn't. They're still a little, so when it kind of moves, you can see the papers inside. And as with any spiral bound book, there's going to be the part in the back that pops up and, you know, kind of looks like that. It won't lay flat. Let's just say that. See, well, the other one I messed with trying to get it to lay flat, and I about ruined it. But, and you know, you count these little things. There's 7, and I can actually get 3. 3 before I can actually get 3 out of one of these, but I only made 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll cut it there, and that'll leave 2 more of these. And I've seen people use them, man. They make little tiny little round books like this and use that. They'll use them because they're expensive. Okay. Let me see. Let me go a little bit. Oh, there we go. A little bit closer. And but I did it. Like I said, I doubled these and glued 2 pieces together before. And this is just the cardstock paper. It sounds funny. That's 2 things mixed together. It's the paper pad, but it had the cardstock kind of. You know what I'm trying to say. It's late in the evening and I'm hot. And then, you know, I cut all these. I think I put 12 in between. And then I put another piece of paper, I guess. This is, like I said, I was just playing, trying to get a feel for it. You can get very elaborate with this. And then this was from the completely different pad. You know, I put 12. First I started out with 10 and then I put 12. And then the next one I said, I can put 15. I just love that paper. And I love that paper. I really do. So that was my first one. Okay. So I put 15 in between each one on the second one. And it turned out like that. And I cut the pages a little bit narrower in this one. Just a tiny hair's breadth narrower. Like I said, this is like these are 3 by 4. And the inside pages, I cut them down to a whisper shorter than 4 and a whisper shorter than 3, narrower than 3. And this one is more than a whisper. It's like 1/8 of an inch. Not an 1/8, a 1/16 more. But it's the same thing, the same covers front and back, the same little papers in the middle here. And the only difference is they're a little narrower. It's a little bit narrower, and you can tell it's a little bit narrower like that. And there's a little more paper in it. You can tell. And this is a good one. So these are 3/4. 0.75. And I wanted to mess with it because this stuff is expensive. You're going to buy this stuff and it's like anywhere between $6 and $9, depending on where you get it. The name brand stuff. I looked on Amazon for the knockoff, and someone says, the wire is a little bit flimsier. You know, maybe deal with flimsy. And they said just be careful when you're actually cinching it down, binding it. Just be careful, don't push too hard because it can go wonky on you. Anyway, these are exactly the same except for a little bit width difference in this interior pages of this one and more papers, which I like. It gives it a little more fullness. Someone also said you can take these out, you can undo them and reuse them if you need to have more pages. I'm thinking, no. I would mess it up, but this is definitely it. But this is the one I messed around with these in the back, trying to get them to lay down a little bit flatter, and all I did was cause a larger problem. So next time, don't F with it, Pam, right? Anyway, I wanted to show you that I did that. And that's it. Yeah, I spent a little more money on some Tim Holtz, and, came in and decided this is my next obsession, is the wire-bound little books. But really, when you come down to it and you want to make a little journal or something, and it's like, how do I want to go sewing in the pages? Because sometimes I just want to, it's not something that's going to be a keepsake, and I just think this is something I would definitely use, would be something with these little index card pages in it. You can use regular paper. The 3/4 or the 0.75, this will hold, I think it's 150 like pieces of this size paper, this weight, the copy weight. An index card is about the width of that, and even a cheap index card is almost the weight of Michael's cardstock. I don't even know, what is there, 66.7 pounds or something like that? I don't know what their cardstock is, but it's about the same weight. So you probably get about half as many. So you could, I put 45 in there. 45 of just the index cards. And then there's, including the decorative pages, that's 47. And there's like 51 because I doubled the covers of the, so that's like 51 pages. So that's about right if you want it to move. Any more than that, you're going to get a little puffy. So I'd say, so the 3/4 wire, about 50 pages, cardstock pages, cardstock width. So anyway, there you go. All right, I'm done. And apparently 3x5s, 7 little things, you can get 6 out of 2 rows of that. So there you go. There's some information for you. I played with something, a machine that I've had, an expensive machine too, that I've had for a few years, and finally stopped, wringing my hands and biting my nails over, oh, can I do it? And it was, hey, watch a video. Everything's on YouTube. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.